All right, in this week's I built something epic. I got to get my hat on for this one because we are about to go to work. Now, today's high-level how-to is for anybody who is working with clients that book appointments. And the challenge that we're trying to solve here is that it's your pipeline, right? We want our clients to mark people as one if they had a successful appointment. But it's really hard to get your clients to actually do that, to go into high level, move them in the pipeline, mark them one, and most importantly, update the amount that they sold them. Because if we can get our clients to update the amount that they actually sold, then we can do true ROI reporting in high level now, right? We can see in reporting the ad spend from the campaign and how many people closed, meaning they were marked one as the opportunity status, and the reporting will do the math and it will spit out an ROI number. But it only works if your clients are actually entering the information about the amount that they sold. And it's kind of a pain in the butt to get them to do it. Well, today we're going to build a way that makes it super easy and super automated to make all that happen. So let me share my screen. And basically, here's what we want to happen. After an appointment reminder campaign ends, we're going to add somebody to the lead to a campaign that's just a placeholder that kicks off a survey email to our client. So imagine I'm Dr. Bob, the dentist. I just had somebody show up for a cleaning or for a consultation. And Dr. Bob's going to get an email and it's going to say, "Hi, Dr. Bob. What was the result of your consultation call with Chase Buckner?" He will click a link in there. It's going to open a form that has pre-populated the patient's information, my information, and then he's going to have a drop down with 3 possible options. And you could make more, but we're just going to do 3 today. And those are going to be the person either didn't show up, so it was a no-show, he closed the person and they purchased something, or that person was not yet ready and we want to add them to a long-term nurture campaign. Just 3 ideas, pretty typical. You might want to have more, less, whatever you want to do, but that's what we're going to try to accomplish today. So let's hop over and get started. I spun up a brand new dummy account here for Dr. Andy today. And just so that there's going to be a lot of pieces to this one, so I didn't want to confuse myself. So we've got a fresh account going on here. Okay, so where do we get started? Well, do we have an appointment reminders campaign in here already? We probably do. Yep, appointment reminders. Okay, great. So first we need to create an appointment survey placeholder campaign. All right, so let's make a new campaign. I'm going to call this appointment survey placeholder. And when you make a placeholder campaign, I used to use the wait step. Sean said that might be confusing. So he always uses just a Facebook message step and you just leave it blank. Just make sure you activate it. You just need something in there in order to be able to publish it. Because again, all we need is this. We need the lead to hit this so that we can build a trigger that says, okay, when somebody hits this campaign, we're going to fire something off. So it's just a placeholder. All right, so we've knocked off that one from our list. Next, we need to set our next campaign to the placeholder campaign. So we would go back to our appointment reminders. And let's take a look at this. Our last reminder is going out 4 hours before the appointment. So then maybe we want to add a wait step here for, or maybe we just add a Facebook Messenger again that's empty. And we set this to go out after 5 hours, because that will be 1 hour after the appointment. And maybe you put it 1 day later, whatever you want to do to make your timing work. But the idea is after they go through all the appointment reminders, we don't want it to stop. We want to make sure they go all the way through. And then we want our next campaign to be the placeholder. Okay? So our lead is going to book an appointment. He's going to be added to here. He or she's going to get all these reminders. And then 5 hours later, they're going to hit this dummy Facebook message step. It's not going to actually do anything. It's just going to make sure that we're waiting 1 hour after their appointment time. And then they're going to flow into our placeholder campaign, which we're then going to use to build a trigger. Okay, so we're all set up over here. Now we have appointment survey placeholder campaign. We just created that. So we need to create a custom field for appointment results, create an appointment results form. We actually need to make another custom field as well. So let me put myself a little reminder really quickly. And this is going to be create appointment value custom field. All right, so let me get that in there. Move this one down a little bit. Okay, so let's go knock these out. So first we need a custom field for appointment results. So we're gonna go settings, custom fields. And I'm gonna make this single options because I want them to just pick one. So we'll call this appointment results. And then the 3 results that we're going to give Dr. Andy are no-show, sold, and not ready. Okay, so there's our first one here. Next up, we're going to create a custom field for value. And this is important that we choose a numerical field, and we'll talk about that why in a second. So this is going to be appointment sold value. Okay. Great. And now create an appointment results form. So we're going to head over to marketing, form builder. We're going to create a form. First, we're going to give it a name of appointment results, or appointment results, I should say. Okay, great. And now let's get some fields in here. We're going to do first name, last name, and we're just going to use the email so that it can match up the right contact. And then we're going to do our custom fields. So what was the result? And then the sold value. And I think I'm going to put in here if sold for how much, whatever you'd need to word it. And that's not going to show us that. So I need to put it up here. So let's do, or maybe we could just do a text. So let's do this. We'll do text. And we'll type in, well, first let's reduce that font size. That's very large. So let's say, if you sold this lead, enter the revenue value below. Great. All right, and then we need our button. Boom, submit. Great, we'll just leave it like that for now. All right, so there's our form. And let me just grab the link to this because we're going to need that in a second. So I'll just throw that down here so I can come back and get that. All right, so now we need to build a trigger that sends our appointment survey email to Dr. Andy. So let's do that. Let's go over to triggers. And we're going to add a trigger here. First, let me make a new folder and I'll call this appointment survey so we can keep everything organized. Let's make a trigger. We'll put it in there. And this trigger is going to be sending the appointment survey. And it's going to trigger when somebody hits that dummy placeholder campaign. So we're going to call this appointment survey to Dr. Andy. All right, so our trigger is when somebody was added to our placeholder campaign, right? There's nothing in there. It's just a dummy campaign. And sorry, give me 1 second here. We're going to add an action to send an email. So this is going to be from you, right? Like your agency. So let's say chase@gohighlevel.com. And we're going to send this to Dr. Andy, right? So actually, I'm going to put myself here, and let's say this is you@youragency.com. This will go to Dr. Andy. In this case, we're going to send it to me because I want to be able to test it. So now we're saying, you know, whatever you want to put here, but maybe you were going to put something like, how did the, let's grab the custom value for the full name, appointment, go, right? And then we're going to say, hi, Dr. Andy. How did the, or what was the result of the Chase Buckner appointment? Okay, and now is where we start to make the magic. So we need to link to our form, right? So we're gonna say like, click here to, I don't know, whatever you wanna say, but maybe just click here, right? So let's talk about what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab the link and we're gonna build it with some parameters. So this will link us straight to our form, our results form, right? We need to put some parameters on it. So we're gonna put a question mark. And what we need to do is we wanna pre-fill in those fields so that Dr. Andy doesn't have to go enter Chase Buckner, Chase, first name, last name, Buckner, find his email, etc. We wanna do all that for him. So all he has to do is click the result, enter the value, and hit submit. All right, so we do that by doing this. So we're gonna say first_name equals, and then we're gonna grab the custom value for first name. And then we put and, sorry, this is gonna keep going like that. Last_name equals custom value, last name, and email equals custom value, email. Okay, great. So there's our link. Let's go ahead and copy this whole thing. I'm going to cut it. And I should probably go make it a trigger link so I could track when that link is clicked, etc. But I'm not going to do that for now. I'm just going to make this the link here. So let's turn this into this link. We're going to hit that, click here. Okay, great. Let's save and activate. All right, so we've got our trigger set up. It's going to send that survey email to Dr. Andy. And now on our form, we need to set up, or sorry, we need to create 3 more triggers based on the 3 options that he has that are gonna go do the things that we wanna do. So let's do these one at a time. Let's assume if we have a no-show campaign, which I already do in this snapshot, if he chooses that somebody no-showed, we want to add them to the no-show campaign. So let's go back to triggers. And let's do survey results no-show. Okay, so we're going to say there was a form filled out, right? Dr. Andy's going to be submitting this form. The form is our appointment result form. And now we want to filter by our custom field. And we're going to say, if he selected no show in that custom field, let's go add that person to our no show campaign. And that's going to go try to get them back, right? The no-show campaign has emails, text messages, voicemails that say, hey, sorry you couldn't make your appointment. Let's get you back on our calendar. Click here to book. That was already in the snapshot, so I'm not going to go there, but I'm just going to save and activate this. Okay, so next up will be the trigger for, oops, survey result equals, and then what did we call this? One, closed, closed. Or let's say appointment one, something like that. Okay, same thing, form filled out, form submitted, form is appointment results, custom field is sold. All right, so now we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to add and update the opportunity, right? So we're going to, in our pipeline, we're going to move them to the services sold column. This pipeline was already in the snapshot, right? We are going to set the lead value to the custom value that we created. Okay. And we're going to change the status to 1. This is going to make our reporting work. It's going to give us the figure that they sold so that we can calculate the math and do the ROI reporting. It's going to put them at the end of the pipeline where we want them for our funnel visually reporting. So this is really the crux of what we're trying to get at the end goal. So let's go ahead and save that, publish that. Okay. And next up, and then maybe you could also, this would be cool, add another action that adds them to a campaign that kicks off a review request, right? Because we know that they had a successful appointment. Maybe it adds them to a review request campaign. We're not going to go there, just thinking aloud here. And then our last one will be not yet ready. So let's make that trigger real quick. So survey results. Not ready. And you know what, now that I think about it, we need to go edit that first trigger as well to change the status. So let's do this one first. We're going to say, oops, form submitted, appointment results form, not ready was the answer. And, oops, I didn't specify the form. The form is, I thought I was missing a step there. Okay. So what do we want to do if somebody's not yet ready? We probably want to add them to like a long-term nurture campaign, and I probably don't have one in here. No, I don't, but let's pretend I did. That's where we would add it. And then the other thing we would do is add update the opportunity in our pipeline, and we would probably just change the status to maybe lost. Right? So that's just going to, you know, change their status for us so that we know visually they'll disappear from the pipeline when we're looking at the open view. I'm just going to remove that because I don't have it ready. Activate this. And now let's go back to that first trigger, which was a no-show. So this is up to you, right? But maybe you want to update the opportunity so that the status is abandoned maybe for now. I don't know. Just it depends on how specific you want to be, but that's an option there. So let's save that. Okay, so now we have our 3 triggers that will do those 3 things. And we should be good to go to test this out. So let's pretend that, let's go into the contacts. Let's add me. Okay. And what is this? Let's give this a refresh. Okay. Here I am. All right, so now let's pretend that I made an appointment, right? I got all my appointment reminders. That would feed me into our dummy placeholder campaign. So I'm just going to do that manually. Oh, the other thing I need to do, I think, is in order for me to be able to send an email, I need to, I don't think this works anymore. So let me just set this as my Gmail real quick. Oops. Okay, cool. So now I'll be able to send my test. Great. All right, let's go back to my record. And let's manually add me to that placeholder campaign that kicks everything off. So, boom, that adds me there. Great. That triggered the trigger that fired this off to Dr. Andy. So let's pretend I'm Dr. Andy. I should have this in my inbox now. How did Chase Buckner's appointment go? How was the appointment? And I probably should have been more specific, right? I could have put in the appointment date and time to make it, a little bit more exact. But basically, so now envision Dr. Andy's on his phone. He gets this. He's like, okay, cool. He clicks, click here. Boom, takes him to the form. It filled in my details. It didn't get my email. Why not? Did I misspell something? Email equals, we'll have to double check that. But let's assume it did. And let's say he sold me and the value was 1,500. Okay, I hit submit. I should have put in something like some text after you submit or redirect you to a thank you page or something like that. I could go set that up in our form fields, but most importantly, let's see if we got us into our opportunity pipeline. Don't see me. Why not?
Chase, on the trigger, I think you forgot to put the result.
I did.
Actually, no, that's on open. Don't you have it for 1? So it's actually hidden right now.
Oh, that's right. Good call. It's just visually hidden. Gah, come on. Okay, so why not? Let's figure this out. All right, so let's retrace our steps here. All right, is that Robin?
Hey there.
Robin.
What's going on?
All right, we need to call in a big gun.
I don't know about that, but I can try to help.
All right, today's high-level how-to, what we're building is a flow so that Dr. Andy, after he has an appointment, gets an email that says, hey, how was the appointment for Chase Buckner or whoever? They click this link. It takes them to the results form where we want to auto-populate their details, and then all he has to do is click a result if he sold us and put his amount, and then boom, we've got awesome reporting because now we have triggers set to mark them as 1, and we've got a value for what they sold, and it's all great. It's all working, except it keeps breaking down at the autofill of the email. Now, this one is weird in 2 cases. One, because you can see the URL has James Dean. That was my test, but it looks like it's pulling from a cookie and putting my details in, which was from the previous test.
It is probably inputting from is it using a trigger link?
No.
No. Or
It's sticky contacts is on.
Yep. And so so you want to click that link in a incognito window.
Right. Okay. So will that screw up Dr. Dean or Dr. Andy? I mean,
To keep sticky contact on? Yes. So
will the auto populate work without sticky contact on?
will the auto populate? Yes, because you have to use the trigger link and put in the custom values there.
Trigger link. Okay. So now we're on to something. Now, the problem I ran into with that was in our trigger, where we trigger this email to Dr. Andy, I wasn't getting a trigger link option.
No, you'll do custom value.
What I had to do was create a email template and then use the email template in this for a trigger link.
The other option is you can just go to the trigger links and get the URL and just the custom value and plug it in.
Okay, that'll work. Okay, so we did make the trigger link, so let's go grab it. Oh wait, no, that's not going to give it to me.
Or go to a campaign and get the link there.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's hop into an email.
So what we need to do is get that added.
Okay, great. So let's grab this. Let's take it back to our trigger. I'll highlight this. Boom. Okay.
Well,
Save
actually,
that.
Well, hold on. It actually won't work because triggers are meant for contacts. You're not a contact. A contact is like a lead. You're sending it out.
Right.
So it's not, the trigger link isn't actually going to work for you. So you'll need to manually just create the. You'll need to create the link. I guess, what are you trying to achieve? Or you just want to pre-populate Dr. Andy's name? Or
no, we want to pre-populate the leads info because it's the appointment he just had.
Got it. Yeah, so that will pass through. So if you just take that full email.
Okay, so let me go turn off sticky contacts because if we don't need that, let's get it turned off.
Yes, because it'll pass all the details of what's triggering the trigger.
Okay, great. So let's turn that off and let's go run a fresh test. So we'll go add a new contact and we'll call this Robin Alex Robin at gohighlevel.com. Okay. And let's do a refresh here. Okay, we're going to manually add them to our placeholder campaign that kicks this off.
Now, Robin Alex is the lead.
What? Am I not in?
Lead,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So we're assuming you just had an appointment. You went through the appointment reminders. It added you to our placeholder campaign. Boom. This triggers, fires off to Dr. Alex. How did Robin's appointment go? We click trigger link. Boom. Yes. There's Robin's details. So now Dr. Andy just has to say, okay, great. I sold Robin for $2,500. Submit, rate, and then we go to, boom, there is Robin marked as one, $2,500 in the system. Our reporting is now going to be able to report ROI on that. We got it.
Cool. I'm good.
You're the man.
Every once in a while.
Thank you. That was awesome. All right. So typical to style. Our high-level how-to took a couple of tries, but we got there. Aaron, what's up?
And just one more check. Can you check the actual contacts to make sure the names and everything are still the same?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so where do you want me to go? Contact?
Changing. Yeah, just check the contacts on them. Okay, so they look. Really? Okay, so it looks good. Yeah.
It's good. Boom. All right. So
Cool.
I promise that I'm going to take all of this and turn it into a very neat course. So it'll be much easier to follow the instructions. But I think this is super exciting. I think anybody who's working with clients that are having something booked, this is like a no-brainer install to make it way easier for you to get the data that you need to do better reporting for them. All right. So anybody, let's see here. Do we have any questions? This is available to rewatch. This is being recorded. Yeah. So it'll go up on YouTube in a little bit, and it'll be in this week's weekly roundup.
I gotta jump.
Bye,
guys.
Steve, Robin, thanks so
Bye.
much. Yep. Just need to rewatch. Yeah, it'll be in Facebook too. You could rewind it there. Cool. All right. Let me check Facebook. This is awesome. The point about the clients not going in and adding tags is good too. Yeah, this is awesome. This is really awesome. So super exciting stuff. Anybody have any questions? All right, everybody. With that, I'll wish you a happy Friday. I'll see everybody next week. Have a good weekend.